the question of how do we build broad support for the social housing movement or the housing movement in general, we have to think about who's the base here, right? And who are we eliciting broader support from? And I do think a lot of the times we're thinking about nonprofit affordable housing developers and that, right? And maybe some elected officials. But I think for me, the base that needs to be activated and engaged are the neighbors who are most negatively impacted by the existing housing system, or as Tracy Rosenthal and Leonardo Vilci say, the unhousing system, right? And we need to learn from the experiences and listen to the perspectives of neighbors who are confronting this life-threatening experience of being unhoused and those who are teetering on the edge of that experience. And it's really from that vantage point, I think, that we need to deliberate on our housing futures and the models that are needed. And I think what's really concerning to me right now is that the loudest voices on social housing are saying that we need to exclude some of these neighbors in order to pursue housing for all, right? And I think I want to go back kind of to what you're saying a little bit about, successful models of social housing. I think the narrative around public housing is really negative, right? That this was a failed model. And that is a myth, right? Because that housing program is over 100 or almost 100 years old, and is able to provide stable, affordable, long-term housing for people who would otherwise not be housed, right? It's the only social housing program that's really doing that. And the reason that that's effective is because of the federal investment in that program. And right now, if there were more federal investment in that program, the buildings could be renovated, the program could be expanded with enough sort of community power and agitation. I think we are looking at re-regulating public housing and expanding that program towards actually housing all people, right? So to me, the question is an organizing question, really, right? And I think in there, like I'm saying in the beginning of this, we have to think about who's the base here and who do we really need to be activating and who needs to be centered in the movement and defining the answers. And to me, those are the neighbors that are sort of most negatively impacted.